Hello, welcome to the lecture series on communication skills in healthcare. Note that underneath I have written communication for wellness. We'll explore what does that mean. In this short lecture, I will try to define what is health, what is education, what is communication, and what is patient centeredness, and introduce you all to the models of communication. Before going deep into communication itself, let me elaborate on this Kanban competency framework, where we expect doctors to have developed their expertise, that is, knowledge and skills, communication skills, being a collaborator, advocate, manager, scholar, and professional in the path to becoming a good doctor. But those competencies are not enough unless they develop their attributes like patient centeredness, empathy, resilience, tolerance, adaptability, and wisdom. I have selected some of the most important attributes out of inter and intrapersonal skills listed in 21st century skills framework. Education can be defined in very many ways, but I like to see it as a process of changing behavior of a person, where their cognitive, psychomotor, affective, and relationship related domains are stimulated and changed. World Health Organization define health as a state of complete physical, mental, social well-being and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. However, the current thinking goes beyond that. It's not just a matter of avoiding, preventing, managing illness, but it's a matter of developing progressive development of wellness. Wellness is a proactive approach, whereas well-being is a reactive approach. There are 8 dimensions in wellness: emotional, spiritual, intellectual, physical, environmental, financial, occupational, and social. The achievements of wellness does not confine to a self pursuit. It is a community pursuit rather than individual pursuit, where all of us should work together to create this wellness in the society. Wellness is a paradigm shift. When we deal with poor health in a medical paradigm, we do reactive approaches, trying to cure, treat, correct, manage episodes, and then take clinical responsibility, and then the management is compartmentalized. But at the end, what your target is achieving a neutral status. Whereas wellness paradigm is proactive, it try to achieve optimum state of well-being. It's a matter of thriving, maintain and promote health. It's preventive, it's holistic, individual responsibility, and it is integrated into life. My suggestion is to change our education approach as well into the same paradigm. Rather than being reactive and trying to manage depression, anxiety, confusions, and antisocial behaviors, we should be proactive to inculcate leadership and collaboration, grow resilience and adaptability, inculcate empathy, ultimately to achieve and cultivate transcendence among children. This model of shifting from destructive, chaotic societies to collaborative and supportive societies also elaborate the same concept, from reactive to proactive. In a reactive approach, we try to suppress and eliminate homicide, suicide, rape, adultery, robbery, bribery, bad things in the society by rules and regulations. That might stop those things, but then it end up in a society where disruptive, chaotic, and non-collaborative behaviors, and they create conflicts. Okay, we can go beyond that and we can educate the society, tell them the rules and regulation, get them to behave, which can create non-disruptive, no conflict, peaceful life. But if there are no interactions, such a society may not be progressing. So therefore, we should be proactive and inculcate communication, empathy, supportiveness, and collaborative attitudes. But individual development is not enough, and the people themselves should advocate, promote empathy, collaboration, and harmony. But then going beyond that, we as community leaders need to promote more research, more activities, and be champions and advocates of empathy, peace, harmony, and collaborations in the society. Coming to the definition of communication, communication is a process of sharing information, ideas, feelings, emotions, and values between two or more persons. I like to stress this word sharing. It's not a matter of giving and gathering. So it's a sharing. It denotes parallel positions. But we in healthcare would like to elaborate further, and that should be supportive. That means that they are psychosocially, emotionally supportive, and it should be effective and efficient. Effectiveness is where you address the comprehensiveness, relevance, and accuracy of information. And it should be efficient, means that you should be able to do it within the available time. Patient centeredness is a valuable attribute to anybody. Consider the patient as a whole human being within the family and the society, and collaboratively planning and providing care. Now, this is very important. Respectful care and being collaborative. Respect their intellectual capacity, their needs, their social requirements. But then in the Western society, they have found this has gone to too extreme where patients start demanding their care. So therefore they are talking more about realistic medicine now. So that's another concept we need to think of. On that background, various models of communication has evolved over the time. Earliest description of a model of communication in the history is this Aristotle model of communication, where he talks about the sender and the receiver and discuss how to make the communication more effective so that you can convert another person to do what he wants to do. This is what is called transmission model of communication. Unfortunately, still some of our teachers, many of our teachers, adopt this transmission model of communication. Shannon Weber has introduced another idea where you have to have a feedback. they are telecommunication engineers, they wish to have the feedback, and they talk about the noise in the background. You can have the parallel description about our day-to-day communication as well. Interactive model of communication is much more than this Shannon Weber, where you send and receive message, and then there is a dialogue going on. There are interactions. There is a sender become the receiver again and again. So that is a more of an interactive model of communication. Transactional model of communication believe that nobody cannot communicate at any moment. So we are constantly exchanging ideas, feelings, and emotions between two persons. It's a constant thing that is happening. So that is the type of well accepted model of communication in the current practice. We should not forget the fact that there are many models of communication that has evolved in our communities, our villages. Models of communication has evolved from the earlier biomedical model of care to psychosocial model of care. Model of communication can be either behavioral oriented or task oriented. Task oriented means you are targeting at arriving at a diagnosis. Or it may be doctor centered oriented or patient centered. Doctor centered target oriented model is the one that we are following at present in clinical practice. So we need to shift towards more patient centered approaches and then behavior oriented approaches as well. This is Bloom's taxonomy. What does it say? It says that whatever we learn, we should understand, apply, analyze, synthesize, and evaluate. So the communication skill learning also, we should apply what we learn today and we should try and analyze and practice it. Further development of this Bloom's taxonomy is here in this Anderson taxonomy, where they talk about not only the factual knowledge but also conceptuals. There are concepts in communication, there are procedural, there are procedures. It's a process of skills in the communication, and the metacognitive. So that is why we insist that you need to reflect about your own communication practices in this series. Finally, as an educationist, I would like to see that you all develop your self-esteem as a good communicator, develop self-actualization. You understand your responsibilities, morality, all your good things within you, self-actualization, and then think of this transcendence. Transcendence, excelling or surpassing or going beyond the usual limits created by desires. We all have desires and they create limits and problems. So there should be no competition, not threaten, and enjoy the bliss of life. Take a moment and read the content of this slide. So try to go through this series of lectures. You have about 6 more or 7 more lectures, and after each and every lecture there is a set of questions that will be very useful for you to test yourself, self-reflection, and there is some questions for self-reflection as well. So enjoy the course, enjoy the lecture series, and try to respond to all those questions. Thank you.